the hype. They got no longevity in the game, they got no stripes. No longer social in person, they live on social media. So social skills are not working because they live for likes. It's all a make-believe world, but they love living in the bubbles. They scrolling and reading all the BS you type. Just for attention, a couple shares or a mention. It's meaningless, but it's like nobody wanna deal with real life. I spit that real life, say what's on my mind. I will not pander to the climate of the deaf, dumb and blind. Never dumbing down my bars, only realness in the lines. You will only hear the honesty and passion in my rhymes. I'm staying connected, cause I perfected my art form. This show I directed, calm and collected, rated, respected, stayed on course and never deflected. Flow like electric, I'm gonna set this off, no apology. I move metric, yeah man, I'm still moving imperial. My techers are moving hectic.
Hey guys, welcome back to Reflex Champions. It's only me tonight, unfortunately. We don't have anybody else. But tonight we have a very exciting match in the form of on-site and intensity. On-site, very confident on Oregon when they played proximity. Managed to secure a confident win, and I think it was 7-3 or 7-4. Can't really remember. We had Sammy going 16-4 with a 4.0 KD, which is absolutely huge. I remember Sammy hitting some great shots as well. He's well known for his ability to frag out, and we also have the likes of Envy and Aslan. The whole team can fairly frag out, as we've seen in previous maps that they've played in. On the other hand, though, we have intensity coming off the back of a very we said that on-site win was convincing, but intensity is even more so with a 7-1 win against Esports Wales. Esports Wales, obviously decent enough team, but intensity just showing how good they actually are with Flux going 11-2. Again, that's nearly a 6.0 KD, and Envy on intensity going 8-6. I mean, this is basically going to end up being the Envy Derby, or the game of envies. To be honest, just going into our map bans here, we'll just see exactly what we've got. Think we Cool. Right, so on-site playing on Oregon last time, but intensity playing on Villa last as well, which is also quite interesting. As again, as we already previously mentioned, they won 7-1 on their last game. So playing potentially a repeat, hopefully an upset. We'll never know. We're going to get ready and we're going to get into this match as soon as we can, and we'll get you some exciting siege to watch. Yep. Then, so yeah, Villa obviously a very structured map that we are used to seeing. Quite not necessarily old in the map pool, but certainly one of the older maps anyway. See what I think that came in with the likes of Maestro and Alibi. Maestro again strong on this map, but this is the thing though with Villa. Villa is something like an 80% soft destruction on the floors. I can't remember what the statistic is, but on the second floor at least, I think something like 80 odd percent is destructible. So that obviously means that we should be seeing lots of Buck and Sledge. Obviously, Buck and Sledge being the soft destructors on the attacker side of things, but that also means that we could see the likes of shotguns and uh, like a lot of shotgun utilization from the defenders. We're going to get straight into this game here, and we're going to start off with the bans on site. Obviously, starting on defense first, as we can see. Um, Villa tends to be a very defender-sided map. See many teams struggle to bring back defender leads. Thatcher with the first ban. I mean, typical ban here. Not we always tend to see that Thatcher come out first because of how strong he is in terms of stopping wall denial, getting rid of that bandit, getting rid of the Cade clause, potentially mute jammers as well. Maverick again stopping that breach that we tend to see as he is the most, how would you put it, unstoppable in terms of hard breachers, because I mean you can use any bandit charges on mute jammers or anything to stop his device. It's just a blowtorch. Mira, another ban that we are used to seeing on Villa, very strong on the aviator game site because she can almost close off study and turn that into a kill box. And Wamai again. I mean, almost all standard bans, something that we're used to seeing. Wamai very good for back in, well, what used to be good for helping when someone was holding closet with a shield. I think it was renowned as the bolo hold. Not too sure though. Anyway, to get things started off, it looks like we are heading to Aviator Games and Cali being brought out as well. Another strong pick again because you can get the long lines of sight, especially long lines of sight all the way into study and potentially all the way through into the vault that is in Aviator/Games. Only thing is though, she does have a damage drop off. The nerf coming out at the most recent patch. I mean, this is the thing though. It's a one-shot kill, but greater damage drop off. Nothing that we're not used to seeing. Sedoxis on the god. Hello there, apologies for that folks, just had a bit of technical difficulties. As we see already the frag starting to come out and Intensity managing to pick up that first round, very big on Villa. Yeah, sorry about that guys, my power cut out and obviously solo casting, that is not the great time to do that. Anyway, we move on to round 2, which seems to be dining room and kitchen. Intensity coming out fairly strong on the first round here. On Aviator Games, considered one of the more defender-sided rounds. Obviously, those with a defender-sided map, attackers picking up these types of picking up rounds can be quite strong, especially the first one, as Siege can be fairly momentum based. You get that momentum, you have that confidence when you're moving through the match. Obviously, Intensity changing sites straight away, potentially just want to keep going through their site rotation. Site rotation, obviously, being fairly huge. Some people would say that if you want to stick with the same site, if teams stick with the same site, it's because they know what went wrong. They're making the adjustment. They know what they want to do, but it doesn't seem to be the case for on-site here, as Intensity obviously again picked up that first round. Anyway, moving on to this one, we see that on-site going for a large upstairs roam with the two Goyle shields, one in what looks to be Astro and one in Master. Again, this is the thing with the as I previously mentioned, Villa is a very soft destructible map in terms of getting in and just opening up that floor, getting that vertical pressure onto especially a site like this with kitchen. We see Sammy here just kind of backing off on oil field as we see on intensity trying to. Oh, that was close, and we see Envy getting dropped on intensity by Sedoxis. A great pick there, and almost picking out Sammy there with the. Oh, Callie nearly taking out the Malusi. Close, but anyway, intensity into a 4 versus 5. Sammy managing to pick up Sloth, making it worse for intensity here. That is a great pick onto the Jackal. Very C8, very strong, and it seems to be that Callie is just wasting the time. And sorry, she's getting her time wasted, but do you know what else she's going to get wasted? Her life. That's it, dropped down to a 2 versus 5, and Sammy does great just to drop off back to site and stay close to the where the defenders are going to be going for their execute. We see Sedoxis here kind of lurking around, trying to get an angle onto Flux. Flux pushing back, and do you know what? Do you know what else is going to get pushed back? This man count. As we see there, Aslan getting the pick onto, I think it was Hayden, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, Flux getting a pick onto Sedoxis. Obviously a big player for the likes of Onsite, picking up a lot of frags. But see Sammy pushing right up, and Flux managing to get that flick onto him, shutting him down. Great pick. I think Sammy was on something like a 3k there. I mean, we just see it, how important that could be, as we see Flux is on low health and there is many defenders on site. They know where he is, and there we go. Orbit just makes it a matter of formality, taking him out. Great round there for Onsite, showing how strong their gun skill can actually be, showing that intensity were lucky to get that round, saying, hey, intensity, you got that first round, but you know what, you're probably not going to get the second or third as we move on to aviator games again. Another strong site for the defenders. Again, it seems to be intensity are very rigid in their lineup so far, with Flux on Habana, Pew on the Cali, Ash on the Envy on the Ash, sorry, Hayden on the Ace, and Jackal on Sloth, or Sloth on Jackal, apologies. But on the other hand, I mean, I think Onsite have been almost similar lineups, kind of changing one or two operators. Goyo, Malusi, Jaeger, Smoke, almost tends to come out all the time. Anyway, we see the defenders start to do the preparation for when the attackers come in. What we tend to see here on this site though is a large main stairs presence with rotations for the main stairs person to come in. Whether we see there's also a shield onto the study door, a great place to put a shield, but I don't know if they put the ADSs in the right place. Don't know if, sorry, observer, could we see that if there's any ADSs on that shield? No, it doesn't seem to be. I think they might be using that as a kind of potentially area denial there, because the Goyle shields, obviously once they blow up, they drop fire all over the floor. Anyway, we see the attackers getting, Envy losing some health. I don't know who that was onto, obviously going for somewhat of a spawn peak. I think that was from Skull Window onto maybe Pew? I'm not too sure though. Anyway, Envy and Sloth starting to make some sort of way into what looks like to be living room. Yeah, going in through living room and going potentially for a north side take. Sometimes on maps what we see is we can see like vertical takes, or we could see either north to south, east to west, depending on how the map's set up. But for here it seems to be Sloth. Don't know how he knew that there must have had some sort of information as to where the defenders were and just started pre-firing through. Aslan getting also unlucky onto the head of Sloth. Sorry, unlucky not to hit the head of Sloth, as Sloth just kind of drones out below and making sure that Envy can continue his work onto the floor above him and to try and take out the utility that is needed. Anyway, we see Envy just scouting out the top of main, making sure there's no other defenders there. like, Envy. There's also Envy from on-site, just kind of holding on the Jaeger. Envy versus Envy. We'll see who will win out on this fight. But do you know what? Looks like it's going to be the other Envy. Is oh no, oh no, oh! I thought Envy was going to somehow manage to get a double. Anyway, Sudoxis losing some amount of health there, just putting him down to almost like, I think that's like under 10, potentially single digits. Sammy trying to get a pre-fire down onto onto elbow. Got my call out wrong there. I mean, and this is kind of advantage intensity here, as we see they've all got a 5. They've got a man advantage, sorry, as well as one of on-site players are very low. Anyway, we see that, oh, I was just about to say intensity starting to do work onto the walls of Aviator and Games, but do you know who else is going to be doing work? Aslan and Pew, as they managed to pick up a kill each. They pick up a kill each, bringing the man count down to a 3 but do you know who else is going to get dropped? That looks like Hayden getting dropped by Sedoxis, but Pew picking up Sammy, a great pickup as we know how good Sammy can be. Aslan just kind of pre-firing down onto elbow, not managing to pick up anything, but we do see that there is someone there. The plant's starting to go down. I don't know if the defenders actually know this. Oh, what a kill. Sedoxis getting flux, and Sedoxis getting a double there onto Pew. Sloth left it with it to do in a 2 versus 1. Oh, what a pick. Sedoxis low on health, pushing round onto Study. He knows where he is now. Oh, unlucky there. Sloth also on low health now. No utility either. Oh, nearly picks Sedoxis off onto the Study door. Sedoxis moving into Study now. Sloth just needs to waste 10 more seconds and he wins this round. Here we go, Sedoxis rotating into Aviator. He's got to go for the defuse now. 8 seconds left, and there we go, Sloth with the clutch there. What a great piece of game skill or game knowledge, just to kind of waste the time and wait for to push Sedoxis onto that plant. Absolutely excellent, just keeping himself safe. I mean, almost game over for, well, not game over, but almost a blunder there from Intensity, because they nearly wasted that round once in a 3 versus 2. Anyway, moving on to the next round, which seems to beat Trophy and Statue, as on-site want to keep them rotating their sights. Aslan 6th off of the Legion, potentially onto the Valkyrie, looking to get more information. I mean, this is a fairly rigid lineup in terms of smoke. The only thing they've swapped out is mute for smoke. Oh, sorry, smoke. Swapped out the smoke for the mute. Pardon me. 3 C4s here as well. A great amount of denial in terms of to kind of give you an insight as to how on-site want to be playing. On-site great at almost how would you put it? On-site are just great at being able to just kind of switch out operators and change the way they want to play some site. Show signs of good things to come for them anyway. As we see, they are actually undefeated so far in this league. Just kind of flexing their muscles from game to game. Also, you've got to remember, folks, though, while they could play really well in the league format and kind of round robin, they've still to go into the knockout phases of this tournament, where we look to find out who our victor of the tournament will be. Could be anybody, and especially in a best of 3 format where you kind of get to get a better, how would you put it? A better look into the map pools of teams, because people could end up losing out. I mean, what we tend to see is just loads of Oregon, loads of Clubhouse. I know we get to see Villa today, which is quite good, but in terms of like being able to see people's Pew, never mind about that. Pew nearly getting a pick onto Orbit on the mute. Unlucky there not to pick him up. I don't think. Oh, sorry, he must have just been. Oh wait, was he reinforcing? Was he just unlucky there? I'm not too sure what happened. That was fairly dangerous. Anyways, we just see Pew absolutely spamming his bullets into the wall. Anyway, talk about what the attackers are up to. They've already cleared the shield of the Goyle. Great bit of That's another great tick off their checklist to get this utility cleared. Envy low going for some sort of vertical pressure, trying to get some sort of angle onto the players that are, I think that's nearly 3 in statue. Yeah, nearly 3 in statue there. That's unlucky, but we see they're starting to, the attackers are starting to put pressure onto the defenders, opening up that master wall and getting an angle from. Oh no! Oh sorry, I thought that was it. Oh no, Sedox is just kind of waiting, playing that off angle and waiting for the Ash to push round. I was waiting to see if that was what was going to happen, and it looks like that's exactly. Sloth not, why, I don't know why he's not using his, maybe not being able to see that. Oh, he's just missed out on that angle onto Sedox's. Close in, but Sedox's swings it anyway. Big balls from him, to be honest. Trying to get that pick and coming out big. Into a 5 versus 3 here is the last remaining defenders are the ones who are roundabout master. The Ace and Habana doing their work, opening up that master ball, but we see Sammy waiting in preparation as he swings in, he gets Flux, 2 into closet, but they get the refrag. Hayden killing Sammy, but a little bit of pre-fire from Sedoxis into that closet wall, nearly putting on a little bit of damage to Hayden, but not enough to kill him, not enough to even take him below 50 actually. Yep, we see Pew just kind of swinging the door, holding angles, and Hayden just going for that plant onto default. A bit risky, Pew just swinging round, and Orbit will clean him up. Another round for onsite, that's 2 each, and I mean, pretty back and forward so far. Great gun skill there from Orbit. Anyway, now it looks like we're moving on to dining and kitchen. Again, this was a fairly, this is only came live this round as, sorry, I think it was this round, or it was potentially the last round, because Onsite were obviously successful on this. Because we have that 3 site rotation, you win a site, you can't play it for another 3 rounds. So, yeah. Sixing from the Rook onto the Pulse fairly powerful for trying to get information on the attackers above. We saw last time Onsite very good on their upstairs hold with how they placed their Goyle shields and how they wanted to roam. That vertical roam obviously can be fairly powerful, as almost, not all, but how would you put it, like this site kind of depends on attackers going for that upstairs presence, that upstairs kind of vertical pressure that they need. Anyway, but I mean, sometimes we could actually see attackers just bypass and just go completely for site. That depends on who's actually like playing off a site and how many players are playing off. Anyway, moving on to what is at hand. Here we've got 4 players? Oh sorry, the the outlines are just kind of distracting here. We've got 3 players upstairs, or maybe just 2. I think it's just a 2. Sorry, Sedox is behind the shield and Sammy up by statue. Or maybe I think I'm absolutely losing it. No, we do have 3. Envy is up there to support as well on the Jaeger. Yeah, Sammy on statue, Envy on a trophy, and then we've got Sedoxis and Astro. Again, quickly we see here that the attackers just went straight onto Master Balcony, and what an angle here from Aslan. I don't know if he's been droned out here. I don't imagine he has. Is he's waiting for someone to vault through? Surely not. Surely someone won't fall for that. I mean, we've seen weirder angles come out before. Oh no, I thought he was going to jump in there. Anyway, moving on. Pew moves through, and just as I was about to say, there we go. Aslan getting a great pick there. And here comes a C4 out for Sloth, and is he going to... Yeah, it's going to hit Orbit. Great there. Envy moving down. Oh, Aslan getting a pick onto Hayden as well, making it into a 2 versus 5. This has just turned completely on its head, and intensity look as if they're going to be struggling. Oh, Flux taking a bit of damage. C4 also coming out. Sedoxis just waiting in that bathroom for someone to... There we go. Waiting for someone. That's going to be Flux. But you know what else is going to be there? Envy. Envy getting the kill onto Sudoxus. A great player off the board, but I mean, what is it going to do in terms of the round? He's in a 1 versus 4 situation, and on site very good with where they're playing. And oh, what a flick on Envy! Do you know the best thing about that? He didn't even lose that much health. Almost, almost. I was about to say almost getting caught off guard, but very Envy getting the kill on Envy. Sammy pre-firing onto the corridor again, unlucky not to get a kill, but Sammy's going to take the damage and come worse off from that gunfight, but not by too much. We see Envy here starting to move into Memorial, nearly getting the pick onto whoever was on the door. Just a swinging bait there. Great from on site. Very strong round indeed. As we saw, nearly 3 players taken out within 10 seconds of the round. Anyway, we move on to the next round, which is Aviator and Games, which On-site have not won yet. Intensity winning every single time. This is looking fairly defender-sided so far. The kind of generic what we would expect from the defenders is to win at least 4 rounds out of the 6 in their split. But so far, I mean, if Intensity win this next round, they could that could be an upset. Anyway, moving on to the next round. See here, almost a similar lineup, but opting for a Legion instead of going for the Valkyrie that they went for before with the information. Tends to be fairly common, a Valkyrie Brung or a Legion. I doubt you're playing with inverted controls, Envy. I doubt that a lot. Anyway, just going on to Aviator Games. Again, another fairly common sight. We're used to seeing it. We know how the defenders like to play it. We know how intense they like to play it. As again, they have brought the same lineup nearly 6 rounds in a row. In fact, potentially they did bring it out 6 rounds in a row. We saw Sloth coming up with a big, massive clutch at the end of the last time we played on Aviator. Just playing that great kind of game knowledge to keep himself hidden, keep himself tucked away from any bullets that were coming from the likes of Sudoxus, and getting a great flick onto, I believe it was either Sammy or Aslan who was on the Melissa, but I'm not too sure. Sudoxus losing a bit of health as someone pre-fires onto the 90 window. We saw Aslan kind of roaming towards the north side of where Master is. Kind of got a little bit of pre-fires as we see Sloth doing the same kind of roam clear as he did last time. Aslan in the same positions, and the attackers starting to move towards this again in control. Talk about control, there's Pew getting the pick onto Sudoxus that was hiding behind his shield. Orbit losing a bit of health as well. I think that was a bit of vertical potentially. Oh, I'm not too sure, but oh, Envy losing a bit of health as well. Envy onto Envy, bit of Envy action. But we see here he's trying to use the vertical holes created by Intensity's Envy against them. Oh, there's more Ash charges coming out, more vertical pressure from below. And so far, Intensity doing a lot of work here as he manages to move up towards main and just gain control of main stairs. Another, again, we talk about this checklist quite a lot for attackers. Another big tick on that checklist. Bringing out more vertical pressure. Envy just kind of starting to feel the heat. Is Orbit nearly getting that pick onto Intensity's Envy. He swings into Study fairly. Oh, he managed to get that pick onto Orbit. That's a great pick. That's the smoke gone. That's his utility gone. But the gun of Envy going cold. Anyway, we see here we've got a minute left and all defenders back on site. 3 versus 3, and I think, if I remember right, all attackers are on the balcony. Yeah, we've got Flux and Pew, and I believe the last man on Repel. Yeah, Hayden on Repel. Looks like Intensity are going to have to look towards somehow getting this execute down, going for this execute and get the plant down. Envy's hiding behind the bar. We've got Sammy and Aslan hiding in. Sammy and Vault and Aslan on the skull door or zombie door, whatever you like to call it. We only have 1 C4 on the we only have one C4 on the likes of on-site for any sorts of denial. Anyway, we see Intensity swinging doors and just trying to get that pick, and talk about picks, there we go. Envy getting on the Flux and Hayden, putting it into a 3 versus 1. Pew got it all to do, but Sammy's just going to lock him out, and for the first time on site, well, first and last time on site, win that round on Aviator. Right, well, we're going for a switch now. On site now moving on to the attack. Intensity now defense. Again, that's a fairly standard split of the rounds. On site picking up 4. Intensity getting the generic 2. Unlucky not to get 3. Doing some great work there on the last round, but just unfortunate not to be able to gain the round. Envy for on site playing great, just playing that off position on prone on Jaeger, getting the kills as the attackers tried to move towards again getting that execute down. I mean, in terms of denial, if they had got that pick onto Envy and just kind of held their Intensity had held the angles and got after they got the pick onto Envy. Sorry, if they got the pick onto Envy, I mean, you're looking in a fairly strong position. 3 versus 2, 1 player in Scuttle and 1 player in the Vault. I mean, Vault's a fairly common place for someone to be. You kind of know where what they're gonna do. I mean, the Skull player can either push through Vault or push through into Vault or go for 90. 90, I feel like if you swing that, can be quite detrimental for you, as you're kind of like putting yourself at a disadvantage as you're having to quick peeking can easily get taken out. Anyway, Intensity bringing out somewhat a similar. You're right there, Envy. Anyway, a somewhat similar lineup here as to what Onsite brought. The only difference is they're going for a Cade. Cade can be fairly strong, can hide his Cade claws in strong positions where the likes of a Kali can't get. But not to worry, there is no Kali in this lineup for Onsite. Looks like it's going to be a North take as they have the Ayana drone doing the roam clear and Orbit on the other side. I don't know if that he's into Trophy. Yeah. Fairly giving up, kind of free retail here for on-site. As you see, is they're just doing their work here and their due diligence to make sure that there isn't any roamers. That's nearly half of the map cut up and in control of on-site. They begin their drone work, making sure there's no roamers lurking about, making sure that they can just start to make preparations for when they go for their execute, clear out players, clear out utility, stuff, doing all the things that they need to do. We see here, if we can just, we've got Envy on 90 as it looks like to be the fight of the Envies again. Maybe one onto, and on-site getting 2 picks there, Orbit onto Sloth. And that's just the Valkyrie's gone. That's a C4 down and Envy's gun as well, the Jaeger. Sammy getting picked off by Pew. Cade getting that long angle, a lovely angle from the bar. Hayden just playing in towards Vault, trying to get a kind of peak angle through onto 90 through the drone hole. Aslan and Envy just kind of trying to check to see if potentially, I mean, they could potentially go through into Aviator here. I know there is Goyle, but if they clear out that Goyle shield, then it's almost free to take. Stocks is taking a bit of damage here. I don't know who that was from. I think it was Pew on the Cade, pre-firing onto 90. Ace starting to do work onto the game's wall, making sure that the defenders don't have a safe place to sit. And here we go. Here comes the execute, as we see on-site moving onto onto Aviator. Envy getting the pick onto Flux. Oh, and Hayden managed to get to take out Envy. Aslan, Sedoxis and Orbit just left. Aslan obviously got the diffuser. I don't know where he is just now. And Hayden just managing to hold off all of Aviator. Oh, I say hold off all of Aviator, but you can't hold off Sedoxis on the Zephyr. He managed to get a double as he came in through through the back of Hayden and just taking him out. Great round there for Onsite. Puts it into a 5-2. Quite interesting here as we see that Onsite the only team, Onsite only managed to win this once. Out of the 4 times it's been played, it's only been won once. So great play there from onsite, managing to get that round. Seems to be that I think I can't remember if I remember this correctly, and but I think Aviator Games hasn't been won much on Reflex if I remember. I'm not too sure though. Anyway, I digress. We move on to kitchen dining. Some people would like to call this their tertiary site, depending on how they set up, etc. But it doesn't seem to be for the likes of Intensity and Onsite. It seems to be the second strongest site, as both have opted to go to that first rather than go for that upstairs site. Anyway, we've got Sloth that seems to be on the roam on Vigil, Envy on the Jaeger, and I think Flux dropped down when he was playing the mute. I'm not too sure there. Anyway. Oh yeah, it's Hayden's kind of looking upstairs towards Aviator. Seems to be a large vertical roam presence. It was Vigil's going towards basement here. Kind of off, but not unusual to say the least. A lot of people like to go and do the entry work and etc. from basement, and having that Vigil there could just kind of stop that, and it could always just rotate upstairs. Anyway, it looks like Aslan and Envy, the two first and second entries, moving in from the south side. South obviously seem to be just kind of gaining the map control and putting the pressure on, but there's the pressure from the other Envy on Intensity and putting it into a 5 versus 4. Keeping this back and forth going, making sure that Intensity are just kind of making sure that Onsite know they're there. Anyway, we've got the IQ upside down repel, just shooting through that soft flooring that has been previously pointed out by myself. 3 players onto the master balcony as they look to take the top floor control. I mean, they don't have a sledge, but tell you what they do have plenty of well, they did. Sorry, I just realised that the Ash has been dropped, but what is the Valkyrie going to get dropped? Oh, Zedox's losing a bit of health, and so is Hayden. Nearly getting picked off with that pre-play C4 there, Sedoxis, but just unlucky not to get the head of Hayden as well. Anyway, looks like Onsite have managed to gain top floor control, but not control of 90 or red stairs, as we see Envy and Sloth just kind of waiting for someone to drop out, and there we go, Aslan coming out of sight, and that's two fuse are going cold. That's a great pick from them onto Aslan. That means they're going to have to somehow, the likes of Onsite are going to have to somehow get the diffuser back and go for the plant. Paul's taking a bit of damage there. Oh, just misplacing his C4. IQ nearly picking him out as she uses her device to try and catch out IQ. Try and catch out the Pulse. Anyway, 50 seconds left. We have the diffuser that is cold. That we have, I believe Envy on Intensity is watching. Yeah, he's on 90, just watching onto that diffuser, waiting for someone to try and grab it. And we've got the Ace downstairs, trying to put work into the site, but not much work. He's only going to get one pick and shut down by Sloth. Sedox is going to get dropped as well, but remember, she can't pick herself back up again, and Sammy is nowhere near able to pick her up. Left into a 1 versus 4, looking very much in favour of Intensity. Sammy here, sitting in laundry, he's going to go out, potentially. Oh no, maybe not. I thought he was going to go rotate away. Envy try to get this pick, and yeah, he will take out Sammy. Great round there from Intensity, bringing it back, getting the first defensive round onto the board. I think the thing is though, I thought Sammy, what we tend to see there is when you get into like a kind of 1 versus 4 situation or a kind of unwinnable situation, and you see all the defenders are stacked up against you, what teams tend to do is they take that kind of extra 10-15 seconds is to work out where it went wrong, where they can go right, and where they can kind of work out what the problems is. We see the likes of, we see it very common in kind of tier 1, where you get put into that kind of 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5, and they'll just, the attacker or whoever it is will just kind of sit on the roof or sit like kind of in the basement away from sight, and they'll just kind of have a conversation, or maybe not where it went wrong, but maybe we'll look to the next round, where we're going to defend next, where we're going to attack next, how we're going to take it, how do you think these attackers or defenders are playing, blah blah blah. You get the gist anyway. Anyway, we move to this upstairs site of statue and trophy. The defenders obviously not picking Aviator as they lost that quite convincingly last time from on-site, as they just kind of went for that north take and just moved through the map. Gaining that quick map control and then using that map, turning that map control into pressure, the pressure then turn into a round win. We see Sloth here, don't tend to see a Goyle roaming often. I know he has that C4 and he can kind of deny from below, but not used to seeing him roaming. Usually you'd see the likes of maybe a bandit, but he's going to be forced to trick, or potentially a Malusi. Anyway, I digress. We move on to where the attackers are coming in from. Looks like Sedox is going straight for kitchen here, trying to see if they can pick off any roamers that are roaming vertically. Obviously Sloth down by, looks like playing where, if I remember right, it was Sedoxes that played down there. On the stairs next to kitchen that led to basement. Can't remember what they're called, what the call out for is, call out is for there. But it looks like Envy's just going to move straight in here into the bathroom. As we see Flux almost trapped on boxes in oh, what a shot from Pew, taking out the Doxes. About to say Flux trapped in the likes of where he was, but doesn't seem as if it's going to matter much, as we saw Sedoxus getting dropped, but Envy losing some health, Pew losing some health, and so is Hayden. Hayden just kind of trying to keep a kind of impact tricking, stop the ace charges or any sort of hard breach going on. Sloth kind of getting a long angle into bathroom, trying to get the pick off onto Envy. Envy kind of playing this position onto bathroom, just on the flank watch essentially. As they start to make their way into, I think they got the breach open. Yeah, they got the breach open. So, I mean, the plant can essentially, make their way into the plant as they've done the kind of first basics of it, but they haven't gained the control or got set up any sort of like kind of good angles that they can hold. Anyway, here we go. We've got Orbit below, just kind of getting droned in, getting hot drone, but oh no, he doesn't know, does he? No, he doesn't. There we go. Pure is dead. Orbit pushing up, making it a 4 versus 4, and almost advantage on site. Flux just kind of waiting on Astro, waiting for anybody to kind of push up. But there we go. There's Emmy going to push up, and there's the control that I was talking about earlier, as they were going to go for this plan. Sammy pushing out onto Statue, gaining that pick, and whoa. Unlucky there, Aslan getting a cheeky double, and Envy left for it all to do, but he certainly can't bring up the goods, and that puts Onsite onto match point, I believe. Great showing here from Intensity, but just unfortunate enough not being able to keep going. Onsite just playing well, playing patient, just not putting themselves into kind of stupid positions or taking chances. They obviously decided that Orbit should rotate downstairs and get that player off of the Astral Stairs. Once the player off Astral Stairs was gone, then it was kind of swing in, push, get rid of the smoke. Once the smoke was gone, that's your denial on the kind of... Oh, I mean, that's 2 sets of denials, because you've got the C4 gone and the smoke. So, like... I think there was only like a Goyo left, then they just started, the pick started to come out for on-site. Nearly a flawless round if they hadn't have lost the player early doors. I believe we're moving on to, yep, Aviator and Games. Potentially the last round here for Intensity if they can't pick it up. On-site playing really dominant Siege here, playing great. Just taking their time, playing well, making sure they get the picks, blah blah blah, moving on. Again, bringing that Cade, but it looks like Onsite are going to potentially be going for that north side roam. We've got Sloth on the Ella. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be the one to kind of waste the time of the attackers that are going to be coming up. Maybe not. I think he's just roaming away from there. Yeah, anyway, it looks like Onsite are looking to put themselves into position. Yep, look, I mean, you can already see there's no attackers anywhere near that south side towards Aviator, and they are all coming north. as we see this sea of blue just coming through. Anyway, yep, just getting that control. It looks potentially like it could be a case of what happened last time. We see the Ayana drone being the person to just move through, make sure there's no roamers or anything, any of the likes. Just kind of trying to make sure that they gain that control, that map control, which they have done so quite easily. And you're on 2 minutes on 45. Envy getting struck by a bit of an air mine just on that 90 corridor. There's obviously the bulletproof cam that's calling out, and I mean the defenders have even vacated 90. This is absolutely massive for the attackers. 2 minutes in, they've gained control of 90. Could potentially even open up Vault here if they get the players round. Envy losing a load of health as we see. Intensity moving round and getting the swing onto the Ayana, and she dropped it, get prepped a grenade. Don't know if that's someone prone there. Envy getting dropped to below at least, I think that's at like at least 15 health. They get rid of the... Oh, they don't get rid of the Cade Claw, never mind, I'm talking rubbish. But tell you who they are going to get rid of, they're going to get rid of Sedoxis. A great showing here from Intensity. They vacated a lot of areas, gave a lot of control to Onsite, and they're just being very, really dominant. Making sure that they're not able to stay alive, and there we go. There's that Envy action, getting rid of Onsite's Envy. Great gunner, but he's gone. Anyway, we see the Jaeger of Envy from Intensity pushing up onto 90, and I believe that's someone. Yeah, someone's on Skull Door, I think. Potentially could get dropped. Yeah, it's Aslan. I don't know if he knows, but he'll know now there is someone there. Getting kind of pinched from both sides here. Orbit in study, making sure that no one goes for the flank, but. Oh, no. Oh, unlucky. Aslan getting the pick onto the Intensity's Envy, shutting him down. Hayden still on this Goyle shield. Oh, there we go. Pew onto Aslan as well. Just Orbit left. He's get 25 seconds to get Diffuser down and kill 4 people, but he ain't got the time, he ain't got the skill. There we go. Done deal. (6-4) to Onsite Gaming so far. Match point still. Onsite could take this at any moment and absolutely rip it out of Intensity's claws. I mean, so far been back and forth. Neither team really looking off the pace here. Coming down to that kind of last 30 seconds to a minute, I'd say Onsite's attacks have been much more convincing and stronger. I mean, Intensity only managing to win AV in games. But anyway, we move on. Ayana getting switched out for the IQ, obviously realising what looks to be that kitchen hold. Then the IQ very strong, being able to get rid of the gadgets that were below her. Yep, Sloth just doing his thing, roaming upstairs, or potentially roaming downstairs depending on what's happening. We move on. Yeah, but anyway, great last round from Intensity. They knew exactly how Onsite were going to attack. I was fairly worried though, because you're giving up so much map control, especially on 90. If Onsite had just been that little bit more switched on, could have got a hard breacher through, opened up that wall, and that would have been game over. I mean, especially I don't know if the envy of Onsite was just on a drone or something, but when that push up to 90, I think that potentially could have been what collapsed the round, because the defenders were just playing that bit more aggressive onto the attackers. Anyway, we see here the attackers going for that master take again that we've seen before. It looks like, a little bit of damage coming onto Sedoxis, but Orbit picking off Sloth. The roamer of Vigils, I don't know where that was actually, but I think that was potentially downstairs. Oh no, it wasn't. It was on. Yeah, it was on top of Red. Orbit just getting that kill. Must have been ready for a spawn peek or prepped or something. Don't know, but anyway, I think the roamers have kind of backed off a bit, leaving the attackers to gain control of Master. Obviously, they're going to have to realise this pretty soon, start to get their work done as it's 2 minutes down. Oh, Envy just unlucky not to get any kind of damage there, but receiving a lot of damage. You could say it was almost a lost gunfight there. Intensity just kind of persistent upstairs on that trophy. Even though they're down to 4 men. Envy, sorry. Oh, I keep saying Envy because there's 2 players there. Anyway, on-site moving to try and get a little bit of control, but there we go. Talking of control, never mind. Envy dropping Envy, and there's another pick. Aslan dropping Hayden. Now it's a 4 versus 2 situation. Pew's getting some information here. Potentially could get a pick with a C4, make it a much more winnable position. Oh, is he gonna get it? No, he's. Don't think anybody is near. Yeah, looks like all the attackers have now moved down towards their execute. Starting to move forward, and they are starting to open up this wall and go for where the default plant spot would be. Something similar that we're used to seeing. Flux and Pew now got a lot to do here, but oh no, do they know he's there? Oh, don't tell me he's going to move in. He is, and there we go. Sedox is getting dropped there by Pew. Some Envy getting a pick onto Flux. I thought he'd managed just whiffed onto Pew, but Flux getting dropped, and now it's a 3 versus 1, and it's looking very much in favour of on-site. They've done the business. Oh, I thought he got a pick there, but there we go. Envy dropping it, and it's GG's all round. Great match there from on-site and Intensity. Both playing absolutely amazing, to be honest. I mean, unlucky Intensity didn't pick up more rounds, to be honest. If they'd just been that bit better, they would have picked up, potentially putting on a 3-3 split. Could have been a different game altogether. Oh well, that was a great match to kick off with tonight. I know you're probably thinking that you're fed up listening to my voice, but unfortunately you're going to be listening to it again as we move on to our next match. I'll just double check exactly who our next match is. If I just double check, I think it's Esports Wales versus SamClan. SamClan obviously a very prominent team so far this season. Esports Wales been a bit up and down, very strong on their last game, but just unlucky not to get the win. Chikara obviously taking him to overtime. Anyway, I'm going to rest my voice a bit, get ready for the next match. You guys get some snacks, maybe get your dinner, and then we will see you back in. I think it's half an hour. I'm not too sure. Anyway, we'll see you back, guys. We'll see you guys back here soon.
It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who It's who I am. It's who One billion reasons in the stars. In prison, deep within my heart. It's written on my face that I'm just as afraid. These scars I can't erase, 'cause I need you to know it's who I am. Want you to understand. It's who I am. Want you to understand. It's who I am. Who I am. 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 I know it's easy to get lost in yesterday, to bring back all these things. I know you love them, I know you love them, but I know that I can try again to warm your heart. Please understand, things don't stay forever. We say we want to make a change, I must admit, but
It's terrific. I'm so proud of you.
Just when you forgot, maybe take the time to stop and cherish what we had instead of missing what we had. You only notice when it's gone because to satisfy what you long for. You will have to try again to fill your heart. Please understand, things don't stay forever. You know you've got to make a change. You must admit it feels a little strange to see it in a different way. And even when it passes by, that wasn't how you said goodbye. Just until next time, you'll still be through the falling tears. And now you know your side is clear. Bring to life all your silly fears. I was thinking that maybe when you get back, you could come with me. Fuck work, fall in love right now and spend all our money. Jump with me. Jump with me. I've been feeling it buzzing in my fingertips. Wanna try you out. Get lost, get far away, and do what we wanna do now. Jump with me. Jump with me. Jump with me. Jump and I know the odds are always stacked against us. Even though we're young and trying to die, baby don't get no. And I know da. You'll always stay close to my heart. Spinning me around. When I pushed, you pulled me closer, so I wouldn't fall down. And now I just count the waves of your warm embrace. When you made it a little bit lighter, when I was tumbling into the dark. But you'll always stay close to my heart. We lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart. You'll always stay close to my heart. You'll always stay close to my heart.
Why does it always seem like I'm moving backwards? Caught up in a dream, everybody's actor. Why does it always seem like people change faces and nothing is real? Oh yeah. And you know I see better days. Yeah, you know I've been through some things. Yeah, I've been sending prayers through the roof. Oh, truth. Yeah. Don't need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, don't need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, yeah. I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been so patient with you, don't you know? I've been so down with you, and you know it. You gonna show it. Just give me one chance right now, and I won't blow it. I won't blow it. Oh. And you know, I see better days. Yeah, you know, I've been through some things. Yeah, I've been sending prayers through the roof. Oh, truth. Yeah. Don't need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, don't need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh. I've been waiting on you, yeah. I've been waiting on your call. I've been waiting on your call. Been waiting on your call right now. I wanna hear your voice I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece turns to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying where you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. Yeah, I'm pale gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must end, even diamonds fade. When the darkness comes, I count up my mistakes. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying where you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. I had the roses, but never your heart. I lived a dream, now I'm in the dark. Oh, 'cause you ran away and took my life, and so ripped me to pieces. Just let it all go. My heart was on fire, but you let me burn. You got me wired, now there's no return. No, you took my heart, you took my soul. Rip me to pieces, let it all go.
was on fire, but you let me burn. You got me wired, now there's no return. No. You took my heart, you took my soul. Rip me to pieces, ready to go.
Insomnia keeps me up at night. I sleep on the wrong side. From what I've seen, you're quite the wandering kind. How long have you known? I've had my eyes on you, seen you in this house. Darling, break down the wall. what you don't know. Hey now, put up a fight, I know how I won't let go. Hands out to the sky, we reach for tomorrow. Break down, look at your life, why you wanna be known. Head down, look in my eyes, tell me what you don't know. Hey now, put up a fight, I know how I won't let go. Hands out to the sky, we reach for tomorrow. No, we don't wanna die, we'd rather be alone. Are you the animal, cannibalistic missile, crashing all around? Are you the animal? Do you remember out on a limb, you listen quiet all around? Are you the animal? I'm not afraid of you. I feel we're ready tonight. But time is on my side. Feel it go when inside me, but you'll never find me. I need my heart to make me
Moving down to LA, to the land of opportunity. My grandma thinks I'm crazy for giving Hollywood a piece of me. I'm holding my head high, act like the world's mine. I didn't come for nothing, and all I know is I can't let them see. I got no idea what I'm doing. Take it all till I make it all the way. I've been winning, I've been losing, but you're never gonna read my poker face. Take it all, take
living off the hype. They got no longevity in the game, they got no straps. No longer social in person, they live on social media. So social skills are not working because they live for likes. It's all a make-believe world, but they love living in the bubbles. They scrolling and reading all the BS you type. Just for attention, a couple shares or a mention. It's meaningless, but it's like nobody wanna deal with real life. I spit that real life, say what's on my mind. I will not pander to the climate of the deaf, dumb and blind. Never dumbing down my bars, only realness in the lines. You will only hear the honesty and passion in my rhymes. I'm staying connected cause I perfected my art form. This show I directed, calm and collected, rated, respected, stayed on course and never deflected. Flow like electric, I'm gonna set this off, no apology. I move metric, yeah man, I'm still moving imperial. My techers are moving hectic.
the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Whatever happened to the happiness? Do what you want to get it back for us. You take your time, then let me know if you want to stay or if you want to go. I know you have difficulty knowing me, but you don't have difficulty showing me that we just need to get away. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in places, sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. We haven't got unlimited time,
sun is out and you get to your prime. We're falling for love, we're falling for lust, we're falling through everything. You see the summer's getting closer. We don't feel like we are getting older. So show me what you have to bring. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in places, sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything.
can take your time. You can choose your words. Let me down real easy. Let me down real easy. Well, I'm doing just fine. Because I caught your lies. You say that it's you, not me. Baby, now that I am
eternal state of mind. Children of the night, but it's the only way of life. It's black holes pulling me inside of this black heart, the black soul underneath this black, black sky. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me, do bad things in the night time. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill a light. It's a light for the blackout, blackout. It's a light for the blackout, blackout. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything black. Black heart, black keys, black diamonds, blackout. trying to just get by, but I can't hide what's I just got nothing to say. My God, show my baby. I can't stay away. Tokyo.